Kristofer Hallén, working in Ericsson. And when thinking about this, was to say something, I ended up with this picture. So I only have one. And it was a user story. And I think that it's nothing bad, but we tend here to become very geeky. We go into JSONs and SDKs and many details. But why do we do it? There's somewhere in the end there is a value for your company or your user group or a community of some kind. And that's what I started to think about. So going back in time a bit, quite a long time ago, I said I was part of this first Eiffel thing. We had, and then the Ericsson part, creating big radio network systems and base stations for those. We had quite a stable, we sent things to customers 1-2 times a year, a lot of manual steps. But times were changing. This became more and more frequent with more and more components and software and things coming in. So at some point, these people that doing the releases said, we give up, we can't handle this anymore. Just trying to collect manually does not work. So yeah, we started, we have to fix it in some way. And this is one thing that this ended up with was the Eiffel protocol and this being able to automate what Eric so well described, is communicating, having common language between many different user groups, being able to also then connect many different tools and systems. But that's not the end goal for us. We could that's not the value. We don't sell that. So if we take what we have, we are running, and we're also then at that time we have many different, we call that with modules. They could be seen as large individually, seen as large Swedish companies, maybe 1,000 developers in each. And then we take what they produce and bring it together into then full telecom systems. So we talk thousands of developers, thousands of software components, things updated all over the place every day. And that was a big problem then. How we can't keep track of this anymore. What do we do? And then this is a picture. This is what we have and have used and still using as one example of what we're doing. And so I'm not even talking about any events or anything. This I would then say is a value for us. Here, this is a way for us to then see what do we have, what are the latest versions of things, what are the combinations of things that are in our software pipeline on its way to customer. So this problem that we had, we have a lot of things behind the scenes and a lot of people and tools, but the value for us is, and one example of the value for us is this, that we can actually see any user or product owner or feature responsible can go here and look for information about, is my code part of some, maybe not to that level here, but how we deliver things, other versions with the confidence levels. That's something I think we should be better at promoting. That, yeah, we've solved a big problem. We have a lot of value from this. Because as we a bit also earlier talked about, we have a tendency to, we could go out any day and fight about 100 things that we probably should improve with Eiffel things. But we tend to forget this, that we have several really highly valuable things that we are using every day and helps us send stuff to customer. So that was actually what I was planning to say. I could, of course, go into a lot of things here, but then comments or thought, questions or reflections on this. Yes.
Yeah, so I think relates a little bit to your question earlier on during Eric's presentation. So it's easy to see when you're looking at costs, people might see Eiffel as a cost, but when they're looking at benefits, they're seeing this. And they don't realize that if it hadn't been for the cost of Eiffel, we hadn't had this.
Exactly. And that's the problem. Fredrik and I talked during the fika that we should have somewhere here, we should have Eiffel inside. So yeah, because that I think it's a problem for us that we tend to be a community of people that talk about these very small details about the protocol or a tool, but it's not what the majority of the people we bring value to see. So let's step out of that a bit and maybe start here, show a dashboard or so this like here's you need to get this data every day. We provide it. Then we can start to go into the fighting that to get this, we have to then have this common language. We have to have an agreement on how we express some things or provide them to someone else. But don't start there, because then it's just a cost. Why do we need to do that? That's not relevant for us in our small group.
Sure. I know that Eiffel has more than 23 events or 25. So what's the most event that you usually use in your daily system like that?
I don't think we have most used. This is our then. If you look at this is a lot of artifact and confidence level events. But that's one use case. And yeah, that's a power. You could actually start with one use case and then add to it, but yeah, but maybe this is also part of our challenge. We like this. We could do so many things. If we had all of these events, we can conquer the world. But then we tend to forget that still as long as no one sees this, we could have all events. But if no one sees things like this, then you probably won't convince them.
Question: How do you convince the user that you can build trust in the information that you have here? If the system stops producing data, then the links are broken and you can't really see the full picture here. How can we sort of convince the user that what you see here is reliable?
Is there any timekeeper here then? I don't know where I'm going now, but very good. How do we convince people that this is reliable? Let's say there are like several perspectives on this. I would say that one thing that I think we should not only talk about Eiffel or tend to be too much into only that, because then also I think you mentioned shortly, Eric, that there also is somewhere we need to find a balance between how much data you actually include in the events and how much you actually have a reference or a link to some other system. So one answer for me would be that, well, mostly the events inform the data. So you say here's a source event. Yeah, the true source of that data. You can go to your Git setup, and we really hope you have a trustworthy or a reliable code version handling that you actually say, we trust this. Then you say, the event helps you say that there is information. Here's a snapshot. If you really want to go to sources over here, or if you say, could be other things too, that or a log saying, okay, we know this is a confidence level. If you really want to deep dive, there is more information over there. So that I would say is one part of the trust that we're saying, we build upon what is in these trusted sources. But do you mean that people will say that anyone can send an event and we don't?
No, it's more about the missing events. For instance, if we have a system that stops sending data because the webhook is broken and it doesn't produce data for a while, do we need to create another part of the system to pull the information from that instead? So it's more about getting pushed, or we need to really look into all the systems. Are the data that has been sent valid, or did we miss anything?
I don't have one, so I can just tell from our experience is that, yeah, depending on the use cases, some things might be, yeah, this is just a dashboard. We're just showing now. Probably not very, then you probably show out of order at the moment when you don't get any data, and as soon as you get any, you just show it. Then you might have those that you actually say, I want a history. Then you probably need some kind of, yeah, I'm back online. Then you probably want some kind of event store where you go back and read up, what did I miss? Or if you're a producer, you say, yeah, I need to send these things even if I was offline for a while. But I think that depends a bit on the use case. So I don't have one solution fits all here. Our investigations have been that it's the infrastructure for the events is super reliable. It's more that we behave bad as a producer of an event or a consumer. That, yeah. So I think that's also this with Eiffel. Is it good or bad? You can't say that. Yeah, we say that infrastructure usually works really well. Sometimes we have producers that were not implemented in the best way. Then you can fix that. So it's not, you just, yeah, it's a constant improve things. But I would say our experience, it's, yeah, if you need to work on it, but you can get people to trust it.
I agree. We just want to stress that the infrastructure is very important, of course, that we can rely on the infrastructure. And the RabbitMQ messaging system is reliable, I would say. It's their experience. So as long as your clients behave well and do send the events that they should send, then the infrastructure or the message brokers, they do their job. That's their experience. Then of course, the consumers can also miss events or, well, in another way, forget about events that have been reached or something like that. So of course,
but maybe that is perspective. It's not, we don't see this is with the image, but if we dig into it, the Eiffel tools and systems are almost never the problem. The problem then, if it's a producer or some information, then it doesn't matter if they had a push or a pull or we're sending emails. If it's that's a problem, and that wouldn't be different if it was something else than Eiffel. So that's where we end up most of the time.